He's back at it bright and early on a chilly October morning. He will not relent in his quest to rid the yard of varmin. Morning, everybody. My name's Bill. This is Pirate Solutions Forestry, and over there is Danny. We got all cleaned up yesterday, as you could see from some of the videos, and I have a few milling jobs to knock out before I knock out the purlins for the pole barn. And this is one of them. It's kind of a unique milling job with a bunch of little issues on a dinky little log, and the whole thing shouldn't take very long if it wasn't for the issues of holding on to it and arranging it. So what we have going on here is customer asked me for 55 inches maximum of oak shelves with one natural side on them. I don't like the term live edge because it's not live, so I call it natural edge. And I've scoured around this log trying to figure out the best way to cut it, and I think I have a good idea. And I'll take you, maybe give you a couple of different views, but let me just give you a synopsis here. So he wants his natural edge side to be somewhat symmetrical. No big bumps and curves and things like that. They're going to be used for shelves. They're going to be cut 6/4 thick. He also needs some width. So let's just say between 12 and 16 inches. This little log right here gives us the size we need. We're not wasting anything by cutting like a 10-footer for 55-inch shelf. And it's going to give them, I think, a bunch of figure. Now, I would like, and I'll show you this, but I would like to cut this log a little bit different for figure. However, it's just not going to work out. But it's definitely going to be better than pulling a straight kind of figureless log also and cutting it down. Now, this log was right in my firewood. It's a pile that I keep of oak logs that are in between. Can I mill them or should I cut them up for firewood? This one just barely fits using my manual clamp over here to my right, and being on the toe board here and being able to use my turner and use my hydraulic clamp. So I have a manual stop up on this side and the hydraulic stop up on this side. I can use the toe board still, although I don't know if it's going to be really useful until we get a flat on the top here. But what we need to do is we need to have 3 flats. So we're going to have a flat here, a flat on the back side, and a flat on the bottom. And this edge here is the most symmetrical. He says he's going to chip the bark off them. So this, I think, is going to work the best. It gives him the width he needs. It gives him the length he needs. The 55 inches is about to right here. You can see this nice big crotch figure, but the shelves are going to be up high. So you're not really going to get a great look at the figure anyway. We talked this through while he was here, but there should be a bunch of figure in this area of this log. So I'm giving, and not that he cares, they could be just straight grain, but I think they're going to look better if they have some figure, and there should be some down in there, even though we're going to be slabbing this thing this way. Now, we can't just go through and slab it, which would be the easiest thing to do, and then maybe just edge off the other side with a circular saw. It's too wide down here at the crotch for the mill. So making this top cut is going to solve most of my clearance problems. Still going to be a challenge to turn it with this. You know, I could turn it by hand, I guess. It's not super, super heavy, but it's funky shape and there's some stuff bumping out, things like that. But I just think this is the best way to go about it. So let me take you over, give you a look at the log, and I'll show you why I made the decisions that I made on how to cut this thing and how I think this is going to go. So as you can see, this end is way up off the toe board, but I have it fairly flat on the top. So I did leave my turner up, and I do have it clamped in place right now, and we are going to take the top off it so we can clean it up to approximately right in here. And that's it. And then we'll roll it. If you look at this side right here is the straightest, most symmetrical side for the front edge or the natural edge of the shelves. And then if we go around to the other side, obviously the top's not going to work because it's got a big, huge dip in it. So that wouldn't work for the natural edge. This side has got a limb and a big bump sticking out over here that I'm hoping I can clear, that I'm going to be above that with my, for clearance, just to get my top cut off it, because right now it is sticking out a little too far this way for my roller guide to clear it, but I think I'll be above it. So this side's no good. Also, this side's got a couple little chainsaw scars on it, which I wouldn't want in the edge of my shelves. And you can see that end there sticking way down below the toe boards, but this end really doesn't matter. So from about right here down doesn't matter because that's all off cut anyway. But I needed the length to be able to bridge from there to that and still be able to use the turner and stuff. That's why I left it long rather than just cutting it off, you know, out at like 60 inches and then trying to mill it that way. So we're going to try to do it the way that it is right here. Obviously, there's nothing in the end. I don't see any black staining. I did not metal detect this log, but I do have carbide band on, and hopefully there's nothing in it. And this is going to be a top cut. We're going to have to flip it all the way over and then cut the other side off it, which would be the bottom right now. So we'll have two parallel sides, and then we're going to flip this side up and cut it off into a straight edge, kind of straight edge, hopefully meeting up with whatever cut we end up with down there and whatever cut we end up there. We'll cut it off there, and then we will just slab through it. So once this side's cut, we'll spin it back up probably into, let's see, if that was up, it's going to get turned like that. So this side will end up being back on the top, and we will just slab through it. And at that point, we should have flat sides and everything to hold on to, and it'll be a little easier to deal with. It'll be symmetrical. I don't think we'll have any problems. And then we'll, like I said, we'll slab through it at 6/4 and should be Bob's your uncle. And at $3 a board foot, it's a nice little chunk of log. It's going to be a nice little paycheck. All right, so we're going to get started on this thing. I do have to be somewhere in a little while. See how much of this we can get done. Maybe we'll shoot the rest of it when I get back. I have determined I'm going to try to clean this up at about 24 inches high. We're going to have to see what that does for us in the middle here. If I have to come down a little more, we'll see. But I think 24 inches is about where I'm going to get a decent flat right here. And then we'll, if I see anything cool in the wood, I got my scraper out here. I'll scrape it and show it to you. But I think we'll be doing the most of the reveal when we cut the slabs. So let's just try to get this thing into some sort of cube and take it from there. So we're going to start at 24 and we'll cut it off and see what happens here. It does need a little more off this side. I have to remember that I'm not cutting into my width of the shelves right now because my width is going to be this way. What I'm cutting into right now is the number of them that I can get out of this, and I don't know exactly how many he needs. I'm going to come down 1 more inch because it's too thin in the middle here to do anything good with. It doesn't have a flat side on the back. And once we get it into a square, we take a look at it. If it needs to be flipped a couple times, it needs to be flipped a couple times. But I think I'm just going to come to 23 and take 1 more off it, and then we will spin it over. You know, it is a circle, so there's only so much you can do with a circle, guys. I'm going to put this on the ground just to keep his slabs on top of when they come off. And now we're going to try to spin this thing, trying to give you the best view of Danny while we're doing this. There is a bump on the other side that might run into my turner. I'm not sure. I'll do my best here. You won't be able to see me, but you'll be able to see what's going on. All right, well, that was an adventure, but it worked out all right. This side we're going to have to shave down. Keep in mind that we're only taking it, we only need pieces from here over, or about here over, 55 inches, which is right about here. And what we want to do right now to cut a parallel side is we want to exit right about here. This is up 13, I think. I'm going to have to check that out. I can't come below. So right now it would be at 14. I think my stop only goes up 13. And I'm going to have to take this in a couple of passes because this the crotch is sticking up high. Yeah, I just clear at 13. So I think what we're going to do, I can always pull this down. My other one's lower. I think I'm going to pull this stop down just a hair. And then we're going to see where we clear, cut the top off it, come down and try to shave it somewhere in here. When I take this chunk off, I want to get below this hunk of dirt right here. So I'll come down kind of in here, knowing that we are going to try to cut out. It's going to be somewhere around 14. So let's make a couple cuts on it. I'm trying to keep Danny in your view. That's one reason why I have you over there, so you guys can watch him in the background for some amusement. So let's see what the top looks like right here. This is just going to be firewood. I'll just throw it over there. 7 inches down to 14. I think I'm just going to take this all in one pass. We will clear at that. So let's go all the way down to 14 and see what that cleans up like. I can't take any less than this. It just makes no sense. I'm going to clear. All right, I'm going to have to come up and we're going to take it to 15 to give me some clearance. It's going to be a heavy little chunk here. Get that off there, and then we can take a pass at 14. This can be a heavy little chunk. Some pretty cool rays in it right now. Some cool figure here. It's all medullary rays around that right there, which are really cool. These will be coming to about here, so they'll be nice and wide. And my big battle right now is to not put this on 6/4 scale yet, because I still need some, I think, to come off the other side. Obviously, that flat's not big enough. It needs to be bigger. I'm going to come down and take at least one more off it. Hopefully, I'm still going to have a teeny little bit of tab left there. That is a need. So when I take this inch off, I'm hoping I have a little bit of tab there. I'm not going to have anything to hold on to here. So as you can see, if I cut that tab off, I won't be able to use a stop. But because I can move that stop, I can move it all the way into the other thing. So it's not a problem. It's not a problem at all. Because that stop can move over. I don't know if you guys can see, it's kind of unique to Norwood. See that little thing right there? I can loosen that up and move this that way. And if I cut through this, I can move it all the way over to here to hold on to it, so it's not a problem. And you can see I don't have really enough room down here to push it down. So yeah, let's take another inch off it. And really cool figure. Probably end up giving him these pieces. I'm nice and wide in the middle here where he needs it the most. I'm about 12 inches here. It's really going to depend on how this side cleans up. And when we clean this side up, we're going to take a lot of that figure out of there. 14 high right now. Before I go any further, I'm actually going to check with the customer at how many shelves he needs. If he only needs 3 shelves or 4, I don't think we have any problem whatsoever. We can just cube out the thickest spot in the middle. If he needs 6, we got to think about how we're going to do this for this width. So I am going to get with him and be back. Whether you see me after lunch or not, I'm not sure yet. All right, boys and girls, so I'm back from lunch and I've got some clarification from the customer. And I think I have a plan and I will explain it. He needs 8 shelves. So if I mill this out in 1.5-inch slabs, that equals 8 plus 4 is 12. There are 7 cuts in there, is 12 7/8. I am 14 inches high right now, which leaves me 1 1/8 of total waste cut in this entire chunk, so I can mill 1.5-inch slabs out of this. We talked back and forth about what he needed for total length versus his max is 55 inches and his minimum might be as little as 30. So my big question was, well, how many 30s do you need? Because I can take 2 30s out of 1 slab and cut my number down to 7 slabs and give you the maximum amount of width. But then he asked me how wide we are. And I told him at this point here, I'm 12 inches wide on my small point. And he said, well, 12 inches is fine. So what that means to me is this bottom slab down here, this bottom face, in its minimum is maybe not quite 12 inches. So if I flip this over, I can cut it to 12 7/8 beyond scale to mill through this at 6/4 and give him 8 slabs with a minimum is going to be this 12 inches here and then whatever that ends up on the other side. So the whole thing that I was looking for was how much can I take this dimension down to get the minimum width that he wants. So I think we're in a good roll here. What I want to do is I want to roll this thing over so that this bottom face is up again, mill it to 12 7/8, roll it so this face with the chainsaw cuts is up. Freaking bees and yellow jackets are out today. They're having their last hurrah. We're going to mill this side off, and then we will flip it and we will mill it out into 1.5 inches. We'll set our 6/4 scale. We'll mill through it. We'll end up with 6/4 on the bottom. If you're wondering how I'm coming up with the number there, 8 slabs is 8 inches plus 8 1/2 inches, which is 12. So we have 12 inches, and there are 7 cuts is 7/8. So 12 7/8 is 8 1.5 inch slabs with an 1/8 inch kerf. And that'll give us the max amount of wood. So what we're going to do is we're going to flip this thing over. We're going to mill the other side off, which we should have 1 1/8 inches to cut off it. We're 14, we have to come to 12 7/8. Take that off the bottom, get us our max width down here. We're already at our minimum width here, and we'll mill it out. So this should be fun flipping this over. I don't know whether you can see me or not. We can use the turner here because we're going to be taking a slab off the bottom, so I don't mind if I stir it up a little bit. We're going to take one more slab out of the top of this. Let's just check our minimum width here. Get out of here. So right here, where this yellow jacket is, that's going to bite me, we're only 10 inches wide. We're going to take this to 12 7/8, and we'll double check that to make sure that's on scale. We can actually set scale right now. So we'll come down to 1.5 inches. We'll set our 6/4 scale, then we'll come back up. It should be at 12 7/8 if the math is doing right after I've been to lunch. We're going to cut this off. That's going to give us our minimum 12 inches wide here. And then we have to flip this up on this side and cut it off to as close to this clear edge as we can. So I'm going to come down to, so 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches is 3 1/8. So 3 1/8, I should be able to set my 6/4 scale right there. My 6/4 scale is my yellow scale. I'm actually already on scale for that. So if I come up to 11 7/8, I'm sorry, 12 7/8, I should be on scale. Let's just see. Yep, right there, 12 7/8, I'm on scale. So that's the cut that we're going to make right here, and that's going to get us our max width on the bottom. And again, it only needs to be from like here over, and our max width on the top, and both of those will be over the 12 inches minimum that he's asking for. Then we can just slab through it. Our minimum width now in the center is 12. That's perfect. That just means it's only going to get bigger from here out. We have minimum 12 on the other side, minimum 12 on this side. So we hit his mark. Now what we have to do is we have to get this side, we have to get it flipped all the way over so we can get this side up and mill this side off to get him a straight edge on that side. And we have to mill that to this minimum mark right here as our straight edge. So you guys probably saw that in hyperspace, but we have it leveled, we have it vertical, square. We have to take this top off right here. This is the bad side. The other side's the good side. And we want to get it about right here, which is going to be somewhere around 17. I want to check the other side, just make sure the other side's not screwed. So this side around 16. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to cut it at 16. Take this chunk off the top. Then we have our 3 flat sides. Then we can slab through it. And we're hoping for 55 inches is like right here. So we have almost 63 of good wood. Beautiful figure here. There is an inclusion in here. Don't think that's going to matter. And we're going to flip it on its side and mill it out on 6/4 scale. So our double check should be that at 12 and 7/8, if I just go to 12 and 7/8 right now, 12 and 7/8 should be the top of my can. Look at that, perfect. So all we're gonna do is drop down through it. I'm gonna set my, before I cut out, I'm just gonna set my throat right there, the widest point. These are beautiful shelves. Absolutely gorgeous, beautiful raise. The next one, I'll probably show you this one. Hopefully from this angle like I can, you can see all the medullary rays there. Get my shadow out of the way. It's all raised through here, all raised down the edge, and I gave him that symmetrical edge that he was asking for. And again, his shelves are only coming to about right here for max length. So let's cut it out. We only got a few more cuts here. Take it there. So hopefully, oh yeah, I can see the rays in the camera. So it's got great rays all down this side and on the other side. Pretty good figure. You can see all raised down this side, all down that side. It's got that kind of chocolatey color like a white oak here and here, even though it's a black oak. You can see the medullary rays there, and all down here. Beautiful. All right, let's cut it out. And that's all she wrote. And let's pull them off and we'll see how they look. Anything cool? Oh yeah, oh wow, this next one's unreal. Holy crap. This next one is next level beautiful. So you can see the awesome color in the crotch figure there. See all the medullary rays down there. Star bursting out from that knot. Man, that's beautiful. Look at the color in that. Looks a lot like white oak, doesn't it? Let's pull the last one off. Beautiful color. These will be awesome for shelves. All the medullary rays right there. Star bursting out from that knot. And this one's not worth looking at. It's pretty, but it's pretty plain. It's got some good chocolate figure here, medullary rays, but nothing worth going crazy about. And that gives us all his pieces for all his shelves here. And they're going to be pretty special shelves. So this little log, I'll do some mathematics while you guys are waiting for me to start the camera up again. And I'll let you know how much the total is on this order right here when we come right back and we do an outro. So that whole log at $3 a board foot, if I took that average of kind of the middle slabs at 14 inches wide times 67 inches long, not charging them for the total length because the total length, you know, they get really narrow. I mean, that whole log ends up being $225, I think. So not a bad little job for a log that easily could have ended up being firewood. It's gorgeous. The slabs are beautiful. I think he's going to be super happy the way they came out. They're really phenomenal. And it took some thinking to get through it. It probably, in all honesty, was a 2-hour job. So it always still ends up working out to somewhere around $100 an hour. This is the next one that we're going to be milling, the one I'm sitting on right now. This one's got to get milled into as big a cant as we can get, and then grade sawn as long as we stay above 10 inches of width. Grade sawn for clearest face, clearest face, clearest face into 5/4, 4/4, and 8/4. And we're going to have to just see how that comes out. Now, I'm not going to do that today because I'm going to go in and watch some college football. But it was nice to get a little jump start on that. I think those slabs came out incredible. We're going to throw them over in the pile. He's going to pick them up Tuesday or Wednesday, something like that. But it was nice to get a little head start on that, get that out of the way. Obviously, it was a complicated holding job. Holding onto that log and getting it in the right orientation so that it could work out that way was complicated. But the pieces came out kind of like we thought they were going to. They came out incredible. And, should something not work, then we'll cut something else to fill in, but it looks like he's got the amount of pieces he needs is 8. Some of them are only 30 inches long. Everything here is like 65 plus. It looks like we got plenty of wood there for him to cut all of his shelves out of, and probably a little bit extra, but that went really, really well. So I appreciate you guys coming along for the ride on a Saturday morning here with Danny going crazy. And I hope you guys have a great weekend. May God bless you wherever you are and whatever you're doing. Please stay safe. Make sure you give us a thumbs up, like, share, subscribe. Hit that little notifications bell so you know when a video is coming out for us. From us. When a video is coming out from us. And for Danny and myself, for now, Pirate Solutions out.